Remember the childhood books that taught us about opposites like up and down and away and here? Well, the Bible talks about opposites in James chapter 4, really about near and far. In James chapter 4, verse 7, it tells us to resist the devil and he will flee from us. And I think the implication is there that he will go far. But then the next verse, 8, tells us, draw near to God and he will draw near to you. The verse continues to say, cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. As we think about the idea of near and far in relationship to Satan and God, really what's being told to us here is that we resist the devil and we draw near to God. In essence, as we run the devil out the back door, we allow God to come in the front door. And when we do that, we also need to take some steps to get our lives right with God. When we're resisting the devil, because he has tempted us, well, we may have gotten ourselves a little bit involved in sin, but now we cleanse our hands. You know, there's a lot going on in our world today about keeping your hands sanitized and keeping your hands clean, but here it's talking about not germs as we think about in the physical world, but contamination from sin. Cleanse our hands in any involvement with anything that's wrong and sinful. And then we're told to purify our hearts, you double-minded. You know, there's an interesting use of that term, double-minded, back in James chapter 1, when we're told to ask for wisdom, but we need to ask in faith, because if we don't ask in faith, we're like, as James 1 verse 8 says, a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. We hear a lot about multitasking, and there may be more fiction to that than fact. And this verse tells us that there's a great deal of fiction to the idea that we can multitask and work for God and anyone else at the same time. That creates an instability. We are double-minded, and we need to purify our hearts, our minds, that we would serve God effectively, resist the devil, and draw near to God.